Hi everyone, this is Chris and I'm doing a quick video on how to repair an Asus Zentab 3S10, also referred to as the Z500M. So first you're going to have to get a bunch of things together. What you're going to need to repair is a new screen. I bought one off of eBay that came with some screen tools, a screwdriver set so that way you can take out the Allen screws that hold the screen in, some new double-sided tape to hold the screen onto the chassis, hair dryer to loosen up the old tape and so you can get the screen out, a paper clip to remove the SD card holder, and a soft cloth to protect the surface of whatever you're working on and also to protect the tablet while you're working. This is the screen that I purchased off of eBay. It's pretty nice. It seems to be pretty much exactly the same as what was on the tablet originally, and it came with a couple of extra tools and a little suction cup, so that's wound up working out pretty well. I also bought a driver set off of Amazon.com. This is a particularly good one. It seemed to work pretty well and has lots of extra little bits. Worked out pretty well. And when I also bought that, I also bought this this tape that I used to reassemble the tablet and hold the screen onto the chassis. All right, let's get started. Now this obviously is a perfectly good screen. I've already fixed it, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how to start taking it apart. So we're going to do that right now. So the first thing you're going to do is take out these two little screws using a T4 Torx. Ethan, please be quiet. So you take these two little screws out using the T4 Torx and set those off to the side. The other thing you need to do is you need to make sure that you take off the SD card slot, because otherwise you won't be able to get this thing out. So those two screws and the SD card slot need to be removed. Okay, so here's how you open up the tablet. First you need to bend it just a little bit so you can get one of the picks in there. Then you work your way around, loosening it up. There we go, just like that. On that side. Then the same thing along here. There's a bunch of clips that hold it in place. And eventually it's going to pop open. Okay, now that you've got the tablet disassembled, what you need to do is remove the screen from the chassis itself. So what you're going to do is when you have the home button laying down here like this, and the home button is close to you, when you turn the tablet over, you see this. Now, this lower right connector down here is the connector that goes through the chassis and connects to the back side of the screen. So you need to remove this cable before you take the screen off, because otherwise you're going to have a loose screen on the other side and there's not much space to actually work on this connector. So you need to remove this before you take the screen off. I'm going to show you how to do that. Now it's kind of hard to see, but in here there's a little white bar. And when you take that bar and rotate it up, you're able to pull this cable out. So I'm going to do that. You just basically take a tool, put it behind the little white connector, and rotate it up. And now it's standing up. See that? Now you can just work this cable out, and there it is coming loose. Okay, now you're ready to take the screen off, and this way this cable won't be attached. You're just going to want to be careful that you don't mess this cable up. So when you flip this over, be very careful. All right. So what you want to do now is use your hair dryer or your heat gun to heat up the edges of the tablet, so that way the adhesive tape that holds the screen onto the chassis warms up and gets to be a little bit easier to pry apart. So as you heat up the edges, and then what you're going to want to do is take one of your little tools, maybe the little guitar pick tool, and you're going to wedge it in between the screen and the chassis, kind of like this. The idea is to use the heat gun and work your way around, and every so often slide the tool along a little ways and pry the screen up a little bit more and work your way around, and soon you'll start having bigger gaps, and you work your way around until you've got the screen completely separated. So here's the old busted screen, and here's the new screen that's on the tablet right now. You can see I've attached it here in the back
right there, and I've rested it inside the frame.
Okay, so now you're going to want to test the tablet. So you put the screen onto the chassis and you reattach the ribbon cable from the back, then power it up. Make sure it works. I reassembled the whole thing here before I tested it, which was kind of silly because I still had to put tape around the chassis to hold the screen on. So after you test it, then go ahead and pull the screen back off and get ready to tape it down.
Okay, so now we've got our screen and we've got our nice empty chassis. So the camera is up here and the home button is down here, and that's where that's the little cable that sticks through. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take some tape that we've got here and we're going to lay it around the perimeter of the chassis so that way the screen has something to stick to. All right.
So once you've got your tape laid around the edge, you peel off the backing. Then you lay your screen down on top of the chassis, press it down all around the edges, reattach the ribbon cable, and you're good to go. And then you should be ready to fire up the tablet, and hopefully it'll work just like this. This hasn't been the best video I've ever put together, but I hope it helps you out and assists you in making repairs on the broken screen on your Asus tablet. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.